Jesse, so good to see you.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Did you fly in today?
No, actually, me and my father, he was actually medically cleared to take this trip. We flew in Sunday. We got here around noon on Sunday, so we could enjoy a few days here exploring Austin.
Yeah.
Haven't been here, been lots of places, haven't been here yet. So
Yeah.
we came in earlier to spend some time getting ready, being out in the neighborhood, spreading some awareness, and enjoying the great city of Austin.
Yeah, so you have Dads Can't Too. Tell us about the organization.
DADS Can Too is an organization I started back in 2016. We're an organization partnered up with many of the other organizations like Americans for Equal Shared Parenting across the country, working on equal shared parenting and bringing changes to the Title 4D. Something we do special is we do a lot of family fun events throughout the community.
I've seen that.
We do parades and different events to like sporting events.
Yeah.
We have a family fun fest coming up in November with Mr. and Mrs. Claus and arts and crafts and vendors.
Yeah.
It's just a peaceful way to bring awareness to what we're doing.
Yes.
And educate the community, but do these special events for the families that don't get to do much when they do have that
Yeah.
every other weekend with their kids.
Yeah.
And
Every
also
other weekend with their kids. That just sounds terrible.
It is. It's horrible. That's what we're here. It's to bring
Yeah.
change to that, and that's what we're doing. It's a great thing. I enjoy it. Now part of this Capitals for Kids tour.
Right.
Making stops all across the country. 25 cities in 6 months.
That is
so we
great.
started with D.C. and then
I was
Denver,
up there with you.
Colorado.
I couldn't quite make that one, but anyway.
Then this one here in Austin.
Yeah.
So a lot of great events and great organizations and people across the country. Looking forward to working with them all. Just to make sure that everybody knows that they're not alone is the biggest thing.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize the help's out there.
Yeah.
And they feel all alone and there's nothing they can do.
Now let me ask a question. You say Dads Can't Too. Is this just for men?
No, absolutely not. Dads Can Too is 3 little words that to some mean nothing, but to many children and fathers all across the world mean everything.
Right.
But my organization is actually made up of over 46% women.
Really? Now that's a little bit of a different narrative that
Correct.
people would
it's
want to.
Dads Can Too because I look at it as it's like a compliment to moms.
Yes.
Moms are amazing.
Yes.
They do so much, but dads can too.
Yes.
And it took both of us parents to make a child, and it takes both to raise them.
Yes.
A mother and father, they both add different attributes and different ways of teaching and growing up and loving and caring, and that's all everybody wants to do.
That's right.
So yes, our name is Dads Can Too, but that's just saying that we can too, but our focus is the children.
Yes.
Everything we do is about the children.
Yeah.
It's not about mothers and fathers, and it's the children and giving them equal access to both parents.
Jesse, one thing that I heard you say, and just elaborate on this a little bit for me, you said that grandparents are involved with the organization.
Definitely. I have quite a few grandparents because we're trying to teach the courts and everybody across the country is this doesn't just affect the other parent.
Right.
When you limit their parenting time, now that limits the access that they have to the other grandparents, the other cousins and aunts
Right.
and uncles. So it's not a mother and father issue. It should never be a mother-father issue. It's
Right.
about a child, and the children should have more time and access to both sides of the family.
Yeah.
So with equal access and equal time,
Yeah.
you'd have more opportunities for the other grandparents and the aunts and uncles and the gatherings that families have.
So right before I saw you here, I was just talking with Evangelina, and she is here as a grandmother. She's also here representing her son-in-law.
Yeah, that's
something
that's
that you
crazy. I know. I love it. I can't wait to talk to her some more about that and to thank her for that.
Yeah.
I could take 100,000 men to a meeting, and our voices are not near as strong as, say, 100 women.
Yes.
And that's the biggest thing that our movement across the country is the women's voice, and they're speaking up and they're coming forward about how this is needed.
Yes.
And because the children need both parents, and we appreciate all the fathers, and we want the fathers to know they're not alone, and mothers that are going through this that are not alone. And a special huge thanks to the women that believe in equal shared parenting.
Right.
And without them, this is really going to be impossible.
Right.
But with so many of them coming forward,
Yeah.
the time for change is coming, and the time's now.
Is
And
now, absolutely.
We're working on everything we can here at DADS Can Too, and all these other organizations, and it's just great to be a part of it.
Yeah, so the Melissa Isaacs, I know she's going to be here tonight.
Oh,
and
yeah,
yes. I love her. I mean,
Oh,
she
me
is
too.
outstanding. But the other thing that I just, came across a little bit more recently, and I know I've heard it was out there, but
I couldn't imagine being in her spot, a female attorney fighting for fathers. I mean, that's just wonderful.
what really touched me was to hear her story and why.
Yes.
Remember up in D.C., she's talking about how she, as a little girl.
Correct. And that's what we're trying to show everybody. I
Right.
mean, you have special things like a father-daughter dance.
Right.
And walking your daughter down the aisle.
Yeah.
All these things that we're excluding from the other parent, which
Right.
in most cases, I think it's like 82% of the time, is the father that
Yeah.
we're excluding from
Yeah.
our children's lives.
And then, and as you said, though, the other 18%, it doesn't make a difference the gender. Whoever's being excluded is being excluded.
Definitely.
And we're fighting for all of them.
And everybody's talking about all the extra violence and different things happening across the country, and the statistics show that they're coming from the single-parent homes.
Right, right. One other thing, the women for leading share, the women for,
Leading Women for Shared Parenting.
that is an
They're a
organization.
great organization.
And
they are
it's-
worldwide, and I have talked with many of them. I actually have Jilly Jeezy, right, in Springfield, Illinois.
Yeah.
And she is absolutely amazing.
Yes, she is.
I'm not going to open to her story, but it is just heartbreaking.
Right, I know.
And
I've
but to
heard it-
have that organization and those women a part of what we're doing is absolutely amazing.
And I think it's so great because, once again, the narrative that these divorce attorneys and all these people that are trying to defend the status quo is it's just these men that
Yeah,
just
we're a
don't
bunch of
want.
angry fathers who don't want to pay child support.
And it's women that are also saying, we need this because you're killing our kids.
Correct.
Anyway,
So yeah, having the women to speak up for what
Yeah.
we're doing is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
We can never thank them enough.
yeah.
So.
Well, anyway, I didn't mean to get so violent.
Oh, that's okay,
but
man.
Thanks.
It's just what it's coming to.
It is what it's coming
It's great
to.
having all these organizations and all these different people, including yourself, coming across the country to help bring awareness and attention to what is really going on.
Well, in Texas, we are trying to make major reform, and you probably know me as well because I'm also seeking to repeal unilateral
Nice.
forced divorce. Also speaking up for grandparents' rights. But I mean, I come to these events because the whole family law system is causing so much destruction.
Correct.
And it's very interesting. The other day I was at an event with the Attorney General, and he mentioned that he has between 1.5 and 1.6 million child enforcement cases. So here's what I thought. We'll say 1.5 million. That means for that 1.5 million cases as a mother and a father, that's 3 million people. There's at least one child, probably, we'll say one and a third child. We're talking about 5 million people. And that's before we start talking about grandparents,
Yep.
aunts, uncles, everything else. This is a statewide, it's a countrywide, it's a worldwide phenomenon that children and grandchildren are being removed, taken away, severed from their natural father, mother, aunts, uncles, grandparents. And this is the year we're going to start to make those changes.
Correct. The biggest thing I ever heard compared to that, or with that, is the Title 4D funding that we're all fighting.
Exactly.
I don't know if you've seen about our committee meeting on House Bill 4113 in Illinois, where an attorney actually came forth and said, hey, look, if you pass this bill, the state is going to lose hundreds of millions of
Yes.
dollars in
Yeah.
federal funding.
Yeah.
And we have a great representative, LaShawn Ford, is our chief sponsor for the
Absolutely.
bill. And like he says, the children are not here to stay on welfare and
Yeah.
to fund the state.
Yeah.
That's not what they're there for.
Yeah. Well,
And it's just to have him come out and make that statement. I mean, we all knew what was going on behind the scenes. But
Right.
for them to publicly
Declare
state
that,
this in a
yes.
committee meeting
Yeah.
was just shocking.
yeah, it was. But
He
it was,
helped us. It was He helped us.
Yeah, the truth hurts
Yeah.
sometimes, doesn't it?
But it's not, I mean, it's about the children and
Right.
having their parents, nothing to do with funding states.
So here's something else that I'm going to mention here, because, just the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, the report came out from the Attorney General's office about, I think he collected about $4.3 billion in child support last year. And I mean, Texas is the leading state in collecting child support. They're the best at it and everything else. And this is supposed to be a bragging point. This is what we do. They can count it to the penny. For every dollar that they spend, they get this much in return. What I want to know is, how many suicides have been created from this?
Countless.
Yeah. So I mean, can we start to put a price tag on the number of lives, either mothers or fathers or children? Or what about the amount of high school dropouts that we have because they're not being raised with both parents in their lives?
We have the statistics all across the country of
Right.
those issues that are happening.
Right.
But right now, the states care about federal funding and making money off of the current family law systems. And,
After the destruction of
and
families.
that's what we're here to educate the communities and cities and states and everybody across the country on what is really going on and how they can help us fix that and make everything great again and bring children back to both parents.
Yeah.
And
Well, thank you so much. Mothers do amazing things, and
dads can too.
absolutely. Thanks so much,
I
Jesse.
appreciate it, man. Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you.